And don't talk about your fucking boyfriend and girlfriend. I don't want to fucking hear about the fucking love anymore.
He gets really touchy about that when he hears about our happiness.
They don't even really love you.
Don't say that.
I've been texting them.
That's too
I'm
much.
in a text thread with me, Jackie, and how weird would that be if you found out that was a text thread?
That'd be insane.
I'm in a text thread with your guys' significant others, and we're not happy.
We've got a ghost podcast. It's called Am I the Good Person? It's the opposite of the show.
And you're bad. Hi, everybody. Welcome to AITA Pod. I'm Danny Vega, and it's just me today, guys. We're so happy. I'm so happy to be here at Spotify Studios. So now that we have legitimacy and we're with an amazing app, it's just me now. No Jake and Shannon.
There's a wide shot, Danny. They can see us.
He dropped us like a bad habit.
I'll bring you back.
You will?
You got me.
Starting right now.
thank
You got me.
You're already here.
You're back in.
Great.
This is so cool. I think I love, it's been cool because like I recently had a guest, Joanna, and like it made me nervous to do the pod, which is so weird when you've done 500 of something to be like, woo. And this, I'm getting that right now.
No, I'm feeling very nervous right now.
I just keep telling myself this is my apartment now, and I live here. And it's just like how we always record.
Yeah, just comfortable.
Yeah.
We need some Topo Chicos.
There
do.
we go.
Yeah.
And we're actually, spiritually joined. He's not Mike, but we've got a I don't know. Are you an engineer?
Like
what do we call you?
sound.
Ooh,
Oh,
AV
Sam in
Tech
the
Sam is in the
building.
house, and they
ABT
said,
Sam.
what did they say? They're like, you can have Sam here, or we can send him to his room. He has like a prison they put him in if the talent.
We said
doesn't
Sam
work.
stays.
We said Sam stays.
Sam stays or we're out.
Sam-
We're doing it for him. But it's like we're doing a live show for Sam.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I want him here. I can't see his face, and I was like, I'm gonna be wanting to get Sam reactions this whole time. See what makes him laugh.
Oh, yeah. Should we set up a camera just on Sam,
Yeah,
though?
let's get a Sam cam.
We're
going.
going to go for jokes, and if it doesn't hit with Sam, it's really going to take the
Yeah,
wind
we're
out of our
cutting
sails.
Yeah, he's like going to be exhausted from sympathy laughing, just staring at him angrily. But this
He'll
is,
know how I feel.
okay. All right,
Resist,
well, that's
could
the
you?
show, everybody.
Just get a little
That's
dagger
the
in
show.
there.
That's the show.
Had to.
That's the show. That's great.
Thanks. What's going on with your glasses right now? Is it more comfortable that way?
I put them because the glare goes off the glasses.
He's got them
Yeah.
like 2 inches above his ears.
Because if they go flat, you see how that blocks my eyes.
and we got to see those beautiful brown
well,
babies.
It's part of my facial expressions, Shannon. I mean, you would know that as an actor yourself.
Yeah, you're right. I would know that.
I am known for my riveting performances.
You are. I agree.
Yeah.
So we're in downtown, which is
The Arts District.
Arts District.
Which is a very hip and happening place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You come here a lot? You come here a lot?
No.
But you said you said your boyfriend likes it a lot, though.
Yeah, he does.
I like the arts
And I don't want you
district.
to be mentioning him too much anymore. It kind of hurts my feelings.
It hurts your feelings.
Something I like about the Arts District is a lot of the time when they're filming for East Coast in Los Angeles, they're just filming in the Arts District or just a real
Yeah, they really are. It must.
all the brick buildings and like the older vibe to it.
You know, I was telling Jake, actually, I was watching KTLA. You ever watch that, Shannon?
The radio
No,
station?
local news, Channel 5.
local
Watching my
news, then
radio.
no.
That's the level of entertainment I'm at. And it was very funny because, well, the reason I thought of this because they said the writer's strike might end, which is exciting. But that doesn't mean the actor's strike ends. That was confusing
Yeah,
to
it's
me.
different.
But then they kept going, like, what did they say? They were like, oh, a family found a lion. Yeah, and I was like, oh my God, a lion. And they're like, in Serbia. And I was like, okay, I kind of.
Oh, that's not really local news.
Local
KTLA
news.
5 is the short form improv of LA local news. They're just sort of
Just
all over the
going.
place. I appreciate what they're doing over there, but it's kind of a clown show.
No, and then they followed that up. They're like puppies at the airport, and I was like, "That's an itch in Detroit." I was like, "Okay, I don't really." Feel
Wait,
like
in
that's-
Detroit?
Yes. They're like covering
Okay.
random stories.
Very
I've
strange.
channel surfed past KTLA 5 and they'll just have a stand up doing stand up at the camera at 6 o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
Wow.
And we've all done stand up, Danny the most, but like doing stand up anytime before 5 p.m. is a daunting challenge.
Yeah,
Even
6
before 9.
a.m.
You know what? My brother was just telling me Maria Bamford was doing a run of shows at 10 a.m. and people loved it in the Brooklyn. I mean, but she's very established.
Yeah.
Like obviously,
I
those are her
honestly think
fans.
that'd be nice. Like
nice?
the part that I hated about stand up the most was how late everything was. Like I hate working late into the night.
Well, and you're scared of the dark, too.
I am
so
afraid
that-
of the dark as
it's hard
well.
for you to be funny when you're
Ghosts
yeah.
and
goblins, ghouls.
ghouls. And so I just was like, ugh. I like if stand up, I could do it at like 10 a.m. and I'd be done by noon. I'd be like, this is a great
That
job.
sounds nice.
Yeah, it does.
Do you have like a nightlight?
a nightlight? No, I'm not really afraid of the
You're
dark.
not really afraid of the dark.
No. I mean, it depends on where I am. Like
Yeah.
if I'm in a very scary place,
What
then
about
yeah. If
dogs dressed as humans in the dark? What does that do?
oh
for
my
you?
God,
boy.
forget
Bring
it.
those up.
That would
Not
be
at
the
Spotify.
worst.
That's what I'm going to go as for Halloween this year.
Oh
I'm
my
gonna-
God, maybe we should all do that. Well, we
be
were
dope.
going to be Scooby-Doo. We were going to be.
No, you
For
said we should
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
do for
That's so
Scooby-Doo.
fun.
So we're going somewhere that weekend, and Sarah's going to join us.
Palm Springs
And I was
area.
like, oh, we should all do like a matching outfit thing. I was like, like Scooby Doo, and they were like, oh yeah, we're all just going to be all four Scooby Doos instead of
very
like
funny.
the
That's the show.
characters. And I really think that we should do that. It's
I
pretty
also
good.
had the idea Danny could be Scrooge McDuck and then we could be Huey, Dewey, and Louie. But I don't want to give him that much power. I don't want to give him that much control.
Scrooge is
over
their
us.
father.
Their uncle.
Their uncle.
Yeah,
They're
he's a
rich.
rich Scottish duck who swims in gold
I
coins.
know that he swims in the gold coins. Don't
Oh
condescend.
yeah, he does. He really, really does. That's a dream of mine. I would
to
love
swim
that.
in gold coins?
Yeah, I think that'd be fun.
That would hurt.
It'd be very dirty though.
It's dirty, it hurt. You're
Coins
coming out of
are-
that cut up.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. You're right.
Well, he's
Maybe
a duck,
dollar
though.
bills, but you would get paper cuts.
Yeah, and that would also smell, right? You know
Oh,
that
yeah,
honey
yeah,
sea
yeah.
smell?
And it's so dirty.
Speaking of bad smells, I've got a Dora update for you guys.
Oh, boy.
Okay, let's hear it.
She's really she started calling me more now, and I'm realizing she's up to her old hijinks. Like it's an emergency. This is the old lady who lives across the hall. For anyone who doesn't know, I've been basically dealing with her for years. So. Like 2 days in a row, she calls with this big emergency. We're talking for like 10 minutes. It goes like nowhere. It goes in circles. Oh, my foot hurts, whatever. I'm like, call a doctor. What? You think I can help you? Like, I'm going to go clean your feet? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And anyway, it gets me like, it messes with me emotionally. I called my dad really upset because she just doesn't respect me. If I'll be like,
Yeah,
hey,
no
stop-
boundaries.
No boundaries. Every single time I leave. Where are you going? I don't have to tell you that.
God.
I'm going to eat a donut shamefully. That's none of your business. I know it's 11 a.m. It's what I'm doing right now.
Well,
And,
remember when she gave me the biggest stink eye when she saw me coming out of your apartment? It was like she was seething with jealousy.
She-
couldn't believe another
She
woman
says, "I
was
love
in your
you."
life.
She's like, "I love you, Danny." I love you. Or she just goes, "I have no one." I'm like, "I know you have no
I think
one."
you need to move, honestly.
It's the only way you're getting
So-
free of this.
I know.
new
Or
tactic.
she's going to have to die off.
I know, and it's brutal. And this is what I'm actually doing. I'm actually like ghosting her IRL. Like today, I saw her and I just noticed she was there, and I didn't say
Just
nothing.
running?
and
Oh,
I
you just
ran.
walked by?
I walked the other way because my apartment has
yeah,
like two
yeah.
staircases, so I just walked backwards.
my
But she
God.
didn't even call out to be like, "You're going the wrong way."
Did she say something?
No, she didn't say
No,
anything.
She didn't say anything. Well, it's kind of like what we were talking about, I think, last week about how uncomfortable it is when you have roommates that you have a tension with. It's like almost the same thing with you
close.
guys.
It's like a graduated version of that because she's a full domicile away from you and she's going out of her way to create problems for you. Her problems are I think she might be an energy vampire.
Oh, there she is. No,
yeah.
she is. That's what I'm
I
talking
mean,
about.
literally.
Yeah.
I mean, she
She's
might be
speeding.
keeping herself alive longer by
From you.
causing
Because
you
I'm there.
stress.
She's gonna die as soon as I'm.
As soon as you're
As soon as
gone,
you're
she's going to
gone.
move on to somebody
Maybe
else.
you do need to leave and then you do everyone a favor.
I just.
Whoa!
Wow! I didn't even clock that.
That's the cruelest thing anyone has said on this podcast in a long time.
What?
Wow. I can't believe you crossed my line at Spotify. This is a special day for me, and you brought up Max, and now you want me dead.
Wait, I didn't say you. I'm talking about Dora. If you move, then
Yeah.
she won't take your energy anymore.
She is saying it about Dora, but that's still a mean
Oh,
thing
I
to say.
misunderstood. No, I didn't mean she's horrible. Our second story of the day, AITA. I almost said AICA.
Wait, did we mention enough about Spotify?
Let's mention more.
I feel like we didn't get into it at all.
We're at Spotify.
Well, as you guys have all been hearing us, we've been mentioning it lately, but we haven't really told you why.
yeah, we're now a featured partner with Spotify. We love the spots.
Yeah, this is our first time recording here. We're so excited.
It's so sick.
They have been very
Hospitable.
hospitable. That was the word I was looking
Wonderful.
for.
We're here with
Thank you.
Sam.
We love
Feeling pretty
Sam.
good. There's no social media while we're recording, Sam. We need your undivided attention. Okay? There's whatever you're doing.
He's on
today.
Tinder right now. He's on Tinder.
sorry.
He's
I've never seen
swiping
that picture
right.
on Instagram before. That's-
He's clearly like couldn't be more focused. No, this is awesome. Everyone has been so kind to us. They made me feel so important and like amazing. It was like the opposite of Dora over here.
I
and
know.
They made sure that Danny and I checked in because we're clearly very suspicious looking.
Oh, I know.
characters.
They let me go, and
Yeah,
for
they
some
know.
reason,
Yeah,
you guys
Shannon
were
got
the
right
ones that
past.
were like, "Hey, these two guys, they need to check in."
I want that
like, wait,
feature
what
in my
about me?
apartment, though. I
Wait,
want.
what?
Yeah.
Oh, is that pretty privilege going on? What was that about?
Well, you guys are both so pretty. You guys would have that privilege too.
Thank you. Yeah,
who
no,
knows?
this is really cool.
But we've got
and-
badges.
Yeah,
You got
we
a badge.
Check it out.
I
Oh, you guys
got
didn't get a
actually.
badge?
No.
Yeah,
Look
They
at
didn't
that.
give me a badge.
Check it out.
super
Spotify
cool. Shannon
approved.
D.
Don't litter in the
Just
studio, Shannon.
littering in the studio. No, this is so cool. This area is really cool, and like the spot, and it's cool because like if it was, I'm not gonna name any names, but if it was another, music platform,
Be terrible.
it's just not, this is one I'm a big fan of, and I've used
Stray
it forever.
dogs loose in the studio.
that's
Everything
they all are.
smells.
Dressed as
Yeah,
humans.
dressed as- Dora works there too. Actually, that's how she's paying
she
the
has a
bills.
job this whole time. God, that would be amazing. No, but yeah, we're so happy to be here. So please rate, review, and
Yeah.
subscribe to the pod on
Follow
Spotify.
us on Spotify.
There we
Super
go.
Exciting. And today we've got a little theme going.
Halloween theme.
Halloween
Ooh,
theme.
yeah. Do we have
Rhymes.
any? There we go.
Yes.
Vampire mode.
Vampire.
Do we have any Halloween stories? Traditionally, Halloween is when you walk around in a I remember this. I remember dressing as a cheerleader, as a woman cheerleader
Hey,
in
good
like
for you.
5th grade.
Hey,
Nice.
that takes
And
guts.
I don't know what I was going for exactly. I think I put some blood on my face too.
Yeah, I was
Now
just
I'm
going to
now I'm
ask.
concerned that because before
Yeah.
you were kind of blazing a trail, you were being your own man. You weren't
Yeah.
afraid to break with gender norms. Now there's blood on the cheerleader, and I'm a little worried.
I don't know what my
Yeah,
concept
what happened? Did she
was.
fall off the top of the
I
pyramid?
don't know if I had a like a human pyramid. Yeah,
Yes,
sure.
yeah.
Sure, yeah.
I do just remember now. I accidentally I had a Halloween costume that at the time it was a huge hit, and everybody thought, "Wow, what a great costume!" But it wound up being very morbidly prophetic. I was the
no.
crocodile hunter, but the gimmick was, what if the crocodile hunter, what if the animals had gotten the best of the crocodile hunter? And I had like a snake hanging off my arm and like some theater stuff
Didn't
going.
age very well.
And then, yeah, it's enough time has passed now. They're like, kinda,
My cancel alarm is going off,
it was
Jake.
Steve
They're
Irwin.
very pro
canceled.
Steve Irwin
Who
here.
isn't pro Steve
That's
Irwin?
true.
I'm
Everybody
extremely
loves Steve
pro
Irwin.
Steve Irwin.
He is an
His kids are
American
killing it
treasure.
now.
Well,
They're following in his
Australian
footsteps.
He was
treasure.
stung by a stingray. Is that how he
Stingray
was
right in the heart.
Stung in the heart.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Wow. Damn.
But aside
How
from
much longer did he die after
it
your
was
costume?
it was like
a
over a
good
decade.
amount.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
nice.
it was a long time.
It wasn't like you predicted it, like The Simpsons.
It
kind of
was
vibe.
Simpsons ask. It was just a long time
Yeah.
before it happened. But
Yeah.
I think honestly, I haven't done a Halloween costume in a long time. The last one was my lumberjack squirrel.
You've
From
been good lumberjack.
It was one of those hyper realistic squirrel masks and like a lumberjack outfit with that. It was a big hit,
Sounds
and that was
hot.
kind of my
I love
dismount from
that.
Halloween costumes.
I think I've
haven't done
seen
one
some
since.
pictures of it. That's pretty good.
There's a whole lore about dressing kind of risque on Halloween. What's your stance there? Do you like to
I like to do
Hot it up.
both, I'd say. I like to switch it up. I feel like I like the fact that it's like you can be like slutty on Halloween and get away with it.
Yeah.
The last one I did was Playboy Bunny.
Ooh.
And then Max was Hugh Hefner. It was
Okay.
pretty good. We won a Halloween costume, and I made it from scratch.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I've talked about this on the podcast with the right answers, mostly girls. I took them through that I
you
made
did
it out
that?
of. Made it out
like
of.
you tailored it.
Well, no, I just instead of buying like one of those cheap, shitty costumes, I bought pieces. Yeah, and like Goodwill and different kind of things like that.
I don't know if that's the same as.
I don't think that's making it from scratch. I'm with Danny.
I said it wrong.
Oh, wow! You took
I was expecting pushback.
I thought we were gonna fight
that was.
There. You can't be like, yeah, I made Thanksgiving dinner from scratch. I got the turkey at Vaughn's. I got the mashed potatoes at Boston Market. You know, from scratch.
From scratch.
Green beans at the Honey Baked Ham store.
I was scrappy about it, though. Can we at least?
Because you spent very little money.
Oh yeah, like
I love
almost
that.
Scrappy.
not.
So like you fought people for.
I fought people for it. Yeah, everyone was going for the same look that year, and so it really had to get in there.
I got a mouse costume actually because I was gonna make a video about the mouse in my house. I don't even know if I told you guys about the mouse in my house, but I killed him. But anyway, he's dead now.
Did?
Yeah, it was actually kind of traumatic.
Pretty morbid for you to dress up
R.I.P.
like him after that.
I was gonna make a
that's
dramatic
kinda
reenactment of
strange.
the battles we fought because there was the Great Scissor Drop, which was one of my initial declarations of war on him. So basically, the arrogance of this mouse, he would come out in the open during the day and just be like, "What's up?" I'm like, what are
You're
you
not even
doing?
hiding.
Not even hiding. It's
He's trying to
a
befriend
The
you.
audacity.
right?
I disagree. I think he was trying to befriend you.
Oh,
I thought he saw you
yeah.
as a potential ally.
It wasn't on the table after
Wow.
that disrespect. You know, so I got him in the corner of my bathroom and he actually hid, like behind the toilet basically. And so I peered over and I could see him there and I had, those really sharp scissors.
Oh no.
I did a scissor drop on him and
There's no way that worked.
I missed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Missed, but
I was gonna say, like his reflexes are a lot quicker than that.
they're fast.
We get our
guys.
big break. We get invited to Spotify Studios, and Danny's like, "Now's the time to talk about mouse murder. This is it."
Hey,
This is it.
I didn't kill that mouse.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I did.
Oh, okay.
Our second story of the day. AITA for insisting on a wedding on Halloween. Guys, please rate, review, and subscribe on Spotify. But first, here's Shannon.
AITA for ruining Halloween for thousands of children and not feeling bad about it. I live in a large 90-house neighborhood. We are what's considered the rich neighborhood and a hot spot for trick-or-treaters. We used to get about 800 kids a year, which I love because my kids grew up here. We used to get about 800 kids a year, which I love because my kids are grown up. But in the last 4 years, it's gotten ridiculous. Thousands of parents and kids flood the streets. People with hay in their rigs carrying kids around. Yards trampled, litter everywhere, unoccupied kids galore. 2 years ago, my daughter tripped amid the chaos. The area was so congested, we had to wait till 1 a.m. to take her to the hospital.
God.
She was in pain. It was horrible. Well, I took action. I involved the neighborhood community, and we had folks, mostly cops, stand at the gates with a list. Residents, family members, and friends. You had to know someone. It was great. Barely any trash and around 300 kids. But I told my sister, and she got angry. When we were kids, we had to trick or treat in other neighborhoods because we lived in a trailer park with no other kids. She told me I was a horrible person for ruining thousands of kids' Halloween. But honestly, I'm not too broken up about it. It was a hazard. If there was a fire or an emergency, no one would be able to get in to help. When I was a kid, there was never any cars lining the streets. The residents could get out if they wanted, and it was never dangerous. I don't think I'm in the wrong, but I've always respected my sister's opinion. AITA?
Did y'all have a neighborhood like this when you were kids? Did you go to a nicer area, nicer quotation fingers, but did you go to the area where they had the better candy, so to speak? Do you have something like that?
I did, and I'm even embarrassed to be seen with, the lower class like you.
no.
For we went to the Casa Grande Lakes neighborhood.
That sounds very
Oh.
nice.
Perhaps you've heard of the Casa Grande Lakes.
No, I can't say
It was
I
a neighborhood with a lake in it, and it was like kind of bigger houses. It was just the night, but it wasn't gated though, and it wasn't.
Right.
It wasn't this. This is insane.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there's a lot of inequality in this town.
Yeah.
Like 800?
It has the
That's a
trappings
lot.
of like the Outsiders town. Like, you remember the book The Outsiders? There's like
Yeah.
literally train tracks that run through the town, and like one side is like, hey, with your greases and stuff's tough around here, and then on the other side it's the socias, and hey, it's a little bit softer over there.
It's like Pawnee and Eagleton from Parks
it's a very
and Rec.
distinct divide. It sounds
like
in
two
this town.
neighborhoods of Brooklyn that are very similar but have a lot of heat, the way you described it. But it goes from 800 to thousands.
Yeah, that's
Thousands.
insane. I don't even know how you'd be able to keep up with that. Like the candy supply that you would have to get.
It creates a shortage. The economy's just in the tank. Whopper's gone.
It looks
All
like
that's
a
left is
hurricane's coming.
dots.
There's
Well,
nothing on
actually,
the
my
shelves.
aunt and uncle were telling me about, I guess the niece on the other side must live in a neighborhood like this or something, because she bought $3,000 worth of candy for the trick-or-treaters.
Oh my God.
And they were like concerned because they were like, she doesn't have that kind of money. Like she's
She's
just
going broke
spend like
appeasing
on
the
these
trick-or-treaters.
I
trick-or-treaters.
sold the car. What?
I don't know what the fuck
That's a
happened.
lot of
That's keeping up with the
candy.
Joneses in like the dumbest way possible.
Yes.
You can't appease these
I was
kids
thinking
like
about
that.
this. Speaking of killing things, why can't we kill the Joneses? Seems like everybody's always trying to keep up with them.
Take 'em out of the
They're a big
equation.
problem.
Just kill
Exactly.
'em?
Where are these Joneses?
Well,
That's true.
so when I was a kid, I did go to I went to the Shadow Hills Estates, which sounds a lot nicer than it actually was. It was a very quiet neighborhood, but it was a very pro Halloween neighborhood, and it wasn't anything crazy like this. But within Shadow Hills Estates, there was Wagner Street, and Wagner Street were these crazy nice houses in comparison to the rest of the area, and they had full size candy bars, and every one of these houses
Oh
was
my
owned by a
God.
member of the Wagner family, and that was
Oh,
like where you would
yeah.
end the night. The end of your run was
Oh,
the
really?
Wagner.
I would think you'd
Wow.
want to start it early
No,
because
because
they run out.
That's the thing. There was this like unwritten rule of you don't swarm the Wagner Street. You go. Everybody keep their cool. Act like you've been there before. Don't
Yeah.
freak
People
out
got
because they
it.
got the
Yeah.
full size stuff. So there was
Wow.
this sort of status quo. The one thing I'm
Yeah.
going to ding here on, I'm not crazy about a wealthy neighborhood getting to use the police as personal bouncers. That seems like overkill to me. I'm with the general concern here, and obviously, like, your daughter broke her arm and you couldn't get her to health resources. That's a terrifying moment. But it just seems crazy to me that they were able to get local police to essentially just act as bouncers, keep checking a list, saying, oh, who are you here with? Who are you here with? That to me seems a little overkill and where we stray into classism very quickly. But I'm all for there being some kind of regulation in this situation. And also, I didn't sound like anything was dangerous past emergency services not being able to get in.
That's
and
pretty
out.
dangerous, though, and illegal.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm with you. Obviously, involving the police can be heavy, but I do kind of feel like people ain't gonna listen unless there's cops. They'll be like, "Who are you?
Right.
Yeah.
Who are you? I can get my car in. What are you gonna do?"
True.
Yeah,
People
you're
I'll
take
probably
that
right
tone.
about
No,
that.
I mean,
I think it's mostly just the parking situation, which was bad, like blocking the road.
Yeah.
That's really
That's
where the
very
issue
dangerous,
comes
you
from.
know?
So I feel like, I guess if there was another solution, it would be to try and figure that out. Maybe not have the cops standing there like checking off who knows who, but just being there to make sure no one's blocking the streets. And then kids could still come in, and then there's a way to get out. So it's
Yeah.
like not monitoring how many kids are going to be there because they don't seem to be the ones that are causing the issue.
Right. I just thought of a solution, though. It's Halloween. Steal valor. Just dress up like a cop. Nobody's going to ask any questions. Just like,
Oh,
there
yeah.
you
Instead
go.
of
Just
getting the
have it-
actual
yeah.
cops. But
Yeah.
impersonating a cop is illegal. But on
Not on
Halloween, is
Halloween.
it not?
Totally
I don't think
fine.
there's like a purge kind of rule that kicks in on Halloween
You heard it here first. You can impersonate a police officer on Halloween.
for 24 hours.
Wait, I thought of the house in my neighborhood that had king size candy
Oh, yeah.
bars. So I grew up in a small town, so there wasn't like a specific neighborhood that had like the nice candy, but there was always the houses that we knew had the special things. And there was like one that literally did a haunted house within their house. And so you'd go in
yeah.
and like the family members would like come out and scare you. But there was this one house that was king size candy bars, but they made you like perform for them in order to get the candy bars.
Oh, there actually were houses like that in this neighborhood. And like looking back on it, it's very clear the adults had been drinking drinking. And did they make you do stuff related to your costume?
I'm like trying to remember because I don't know. I feel like my friends and I would be like, we have to like kind of come up with like a little jig or something like that ahead of time. But yeah, now thinking back, like to me, it wasn't weird at the time.
And now it's like,
now I'm like, oh, that's kind of strange.
I would be the kid that's like, that's illegal. You can't make me do anything.
I'm union, ma'am. One year I was the headless horseman in this house in particular. Like, again, the adults had definitely been drinking, but they're just like, whoa, look out, it's the headless horseman, take off your head. And they just like made me take off I had like a pumpkin on top of a cowboy hat, and
they made you ruin it.
No, it came off intentionally. Like it actually freaked people out because it's like a cowboy hat with a cape wrapped around it and then a hollowed out styrofoam pumpkin on top.
And your face wasn't showing. It was like a silk screen or something.
you know those like spandex one piece things. It was like that over my face, and then I would pull it off and could do people. It was a good costume.
That is a good costume.
I love it. Goes Toes Woes writes, NTA, people still need to behave. The kids can still have fun. Parents just have to actually parent them now because someone else is watching. Yeah, I think this is another thing people do. It's like, this is kind of like Tragedy of the Commons energy, like all this trash left everywhere. It makes me sick when people do stuff like that. And it's like, I think like it's a microculture thing because I think like I'm not a litterer, but like if everyone's littering, people get in this headspace of like, I could litter.
Fuck
people do it.
You see that at festivals a lot too. It's always it always really
like,
bugs me
someone
when I
else
see
will
that.
clean up after
I try
me,
to I won't do it with every piece of trash because you can't clean up and it's unsanitary, but I will try to pick up trash as I go in those environments. But there's only so much an individual can do once the herd has decided to
take hours. It take dozens of hours by many people. It's ridiculous.
It's definitely an undesirable thing to see happen when you're in literal throngs of people descending on a neighborhood like this and not treating it like it's home to other people.
Yeah, it's a neighborhood. It's their homes. I mean, if I were these people, I would like get out of town during that weekend, lock up my house, board it up, and like take a little vacation because this sounds like a fucking nightmare.
I mean, it sounds kind of fun too. I mean, nothing beyond the, seemingly like nobody died, but that it was getting serious. But there's a YTA comment here. Reed Mancy says, soft YTA. I come from a rich neighborhood and I see a bunch of kids coming into during Halloween as well. A lot of kids have limited opportunities, so for them, experiencing Halloween seems like a privilege. The parked cars were a hazard, but I'm sure there would have been better ways to deal with it. Stricter parking rules, not allowing cars to block entrances, instead of completely locking out all those children from your neighborhood. I think that is actually pretty reasonable. You could have been a hero here. I don't know if I can. It's hard for me to ding, but I do feel like this is a missed opportunity.
I think stricter communal organization and starting, making this more of a thing, more of an less of a loose format of, hey, it's the nice neighborhood that everybody goes to trick or treat, and more of a structured event where you can have that communal oversight. Then you're not involving the police force. Then you're creating more of an opportunity for everybody to get to have a good time. I've heard of neighborhoods doing like timed blocks where you essentially you sign up for times where you can go, and then you're restricting the amount of people that are there at any given time. So there was a way to do this within the confines of the people that live there without draining the municipality of its resources.
I like this angle because I do feel like, we like people will be like, oh, the world's such a bad place. And it's like, well, you kind of made it bad too. You know what I mean? Like this is a microcosmic event, but like you could have done something that fixed the problem and let the people, maybe to a smaller extent, obviously got thousands is a big number, but like they could have kind of met in the middle here and they failed to do that. I kind of feel like I am ready to ding. I feel like he could have done something and he didn't really seem to accept that, like, a lot of kids were put out by this. They were. Like, I think that's legit, and I think that shows good empathy.
And his sister was kind of reminding him of his roots.
The trailer park. So it's like you just so happened to be in a situation where it wasn't Coachella.
You kicked the ladder down behind you. Now that we're talking about it, it's a little NIMBY. It's a little homeowner association.
Yeah, because especially in LA, I know like there's a lot of neighborhoods that like barely even do trick-or-treating. So a lot of times they do go to different neighborhoods. My friend was dating a man with kids and they would always go to the nicer areas because it's a hot spot for the candy. Yeah. And so I get that because it's like, okay, there's, where can we go now?
I like that. I think Jake nailed it. I love that phrase. AITA for ruining Halloween for thousands of children not feeling bad about it. I think we actually are going full bore YTA. You kick the ladder down behind you. I love that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to fight it?
Maybe just soft YTA, because I think
he took the easy route out on this.
he could have had a better solution.
I think that you could have you could have kept this magical for a lot of people, and instead you just called the cops on a bunch of children. And I understand you're worked up because your daughter was in pain. That's going to kind of blind you.
Papa Bear.
The solution wasn't about. The solution was very self-centered and narrow, and it went from 300. It went from 800 to thousands to 300. Why couldn't we go back to 800?
Yep.
It's like he didn't even care. He didn't
right.
even care.
Yeah. Okay. YTA.
Guys, rate, review, subscribe, listen to the podcast on Spotify. All right, here we go. AITA for insisting on a wedding on Halloween. My fiance and I are trying to get married on Halloween. It's been our favorite holiday since we met and started dating in high school 8 years ago. We've talked about getting married and having a really elegant, gothic style wedding on Halloween for years now. We've been really excited to make that dream come true. Here's where I may be the asshole. My parents were young when they had me, and then both remarried, had more kids. So now I'm the eldest of 6, with the age range of my half-siblings being from 4 to 13. So all the new kids, they're all very young.
Yeah.
At the same time, my aunts and uncles also started having kids. So we have a lot of kids all over the family. Obviously, I want them all at the wedding. But as soon as all of them found out the date, they all got really upset. The parents I've invited want to go trick-or-treating with their kids, and they have put it in their kids' heads that they wouldn't have Halloween this year because I'm getting married that day. So now it doesn't even matter that I'm trying to accommodate because I'm taking away the experience of trick-or-treating or dressing up around the neighborhood. My fiance's family is older and is all for the Halloween wedding. So that's not an issue. But now I'm starting to feel bad because I feel like if we insist, our wedding day is going to be filled with disappointed family and nobody will have fun. But this is a once-in-a-lifetime event with the love of my life, and I want to share it with everyone we love. AITA for insisting on this date.
How do y'all feel about Halloween weddings? Because I know somebody right now who's getting ready for a Halloween wedding.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've never been to one. I've never even heard of one.
Same.
I've never had to experience it, so I don't have an opinion on it. I think right now I would think it would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like as long as they're like dress up.
Yeah, it's gotta be interesting.
I think that would be super fun.
I did think it was a little obnoxious. They're like a really elegant gothic style. And I guess
Oh,
that
so they
kinda-
want everyone to be kind of like gory, like elegant gore.
No, with gothic style, I think Addams Family, but with more
Yeah.
style to it.
Oh.
More, sort of like a dark ballroom.
Oh, okay.
kind
So
of
they
aesthetic.
they want people to dress up specifically.
Well, actually, they say specifically in the edit that they did want to encourage. They stress kids, which I would push back on, but they do encourage the kids to dress up at least for the reception. So there is an edit that we can get into as we go here, but that is one of the things that they specified. They still want it to feel like Halloween for the kids.
I think we get a little annoyed at that. It's like if you're gonna do a Halloween wedding and now you're gonna be like everyone needs
There's
to
a
be elegant
theme.
gothic. So it's like you made up a new thing. Like there's a pretty established, right? There's like formal black tie. Are there any other wedding?
Cocktail attire.
Cocktail tie.
You can go Margaritaville with it too. You can do a Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah, but Margaritaville.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
I
especially
feel like
on like a beach. Like
if you're stretching an ask where it's like, I'm like, I can't wear my tux. They're like, no, you need gothic style formal. I'm
well,
like, dude.
you could just like add something extra to the tux, I'd say.
Oh, okay.
And that
Yeah.
If
could
they're being
also just
reasonable.
refer to the wedding party also. That might just be everything that's happening up at the altar, and then maybe it's more of a traditional kind
It could
of...
get annoying. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
if you're
and-
asking too much.
And I have a bit of a bias where I'm really not down with the Jack Skellington types. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
people who like go all in on that Tim Burton-esque kind of thing, and that has been a lot of the Halloween weddings I have seen, this like spooky formal. And like, look, if that's your thing, that's your thing, but it is an ask to get people to invest in
That's
that
where I'm
with
at.
you.
That's
so
where
if
I'm
they're
at.
not asking their guests to do that, maybe that's an info that we would need here.
Yeah,
Is how
yeah.
much are you asking the guests to get behind this? Because that, like, if you're all in on the Jack and Sally stuff, I just find that to be kind of cringy just because there's no personality to it. You're just completely taking from Tim Burton's aesthetics, and I don't see a lot of creativity. I don't see a lot of individuality.
Surprisingly
there.
hard stance on
I know.
Halloween.
Wow.
I know. I knew it was going to come up when we picked this.
Wait, now what's your
situation.
friend doing that's gearing up for one?
It's sort of a friend of a friend, so I just kind of know that it's happening. But from what I understand, it's just like darker color palettes, like kind of leaning into this like very austere sort of
but not
energy.
costumes.
I don't know if they're implementing costumes. I don't really know them well enough to
I
get
would
into
like it if
it,
there was
but
like costumes.
you gotta go
Costumes are, I think costumes
And
are
I
more
think like
fair.
anything you want to do, like just straight up costumes. I think that would be really fun.
getting married
Because I
on
think-
Easter, costumes.
Yeah, because then it doesn't imply
Just
like
anytime.
you're gonna have to go all out and spend a lot of money. That said, I think it's pretty like this seems like a pretty common issue with any wedding where
All
people
of
have
them.
kids.
Yeah.
Like you're going to be putting the kids out, and yeah, you can like try to swing it, but it's like no, it's not Halloween.
Well-
it's not Halloween. You're at a reception
But
hall.
they could like they could get a bunch of candy and have like maybe a costume party or something.
Because Halloween is with your friends and you go around to the different
Yeah,
houses.
that's
It's like a pretty
true.
particular experience.
Yeah,
what
but
if you
it's like
get
one
what if you
year.
get a Sanderson Sisters tribute band and you do the Hocus Pocus witches?
yes.
Oh, we should go as Hocus Pocus in Palm Springs. I don't know
but
how
Sarah.
Sarah can be.
Or she can be the little girl.
Yeah, that would actually work with the height differentials.
Yeah.
Oh, that means I'd be Bette Midler. I'm all for
There
this.
we go.
Yeah, for
Sisters!
sure.
Magrita writes, NTA, Halloween weddings are a thing. You're not a weirdo. There's so many compromises here, letting everyone attend a costume, scheduling the wedding in the morning or the evening so they can do an afternoon of trick-or-treating, and then have an adults-only reception at night, letting the kids trick-or-treat around the reception tables, or you can say fuck it to the whole thing and say to everyone, we're having a Halloween wedding. These are the activities we all will have for the kids to keep them entertained. We hope to see you there, and if not, have fun trick-or-treating.
I wonder if there's a different day close by that they could do it on.
That's where I'm at. I'm like, look, you're basically creating an impossible situation here.
Yeah.
If you're going there, if you want the kids at your, then have a child-free wedding. That's the answer. Have a
Oh
child-free
yeah, there's
wedding.
that too, and then they could have
That's your right.
babysitters take them around.
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
do
They'll
that.
find a
That's
way.
actually
And
not
that
a bad
also,
idea.
For anybody who really doesn't want to be there, that's an easy excuse for you to not attend.
Have
'cause
less
it's like we couldn't find a
people.
babysitter. It's
True.
Halloween. That's a big ask.
Yeah,
And,
and-
Halloween's a 2-week long
Right, we
holiday.
were just
You could've-
talking about that.
You could have done this on any one of the surrounding weekends.
Yeah, really
around
any
it.
day in October, honestly.
That's true.
Yeah.
Kinda
Maybe
tweak
like
them
if
on.
you go into
holiday.
November, it might be a little like, okay, it's
Oh,
over now.
no, it's
but
over November
October, you
1st.
gotta.
October.
Yeah.
I think this is. I don't know. I guess I'm
Can't really
struggling.
call
to
them the assholes though.
They're annoying me. I feel like they're being obtuse. I feel like you're creating a situation that is just going to irk people.
Yeah, I mean, and that really is the last thing you want on your wedding day is people to be annoyed with you. So if I were her, just the fact that I know that my family's annoyed with me, even though I actually find it annoying how annoyed that the family is, it's kind of like get over it. But I wouldn't want to do it that day because I would want everyone loving on me that
Yeah.
day.
I think they're being thoughtless.
This is me doing an impression of the one of the uncles at this wedding. Congratulations. Yeah. Was it worth it?
I
Was it
really
worth
wanted to
it?
go as
It was
Scrooge
worth it.
McDuck this year.
I
You
think
ruined
they're-
it.
I think they're trying to have their cake and eat it. They're inviting the kids. They're taking out. This is actually a lot like the last one. They're taking it away from the kids. I'm sorry. You can try to spin it all you want. Your shitty reception hall at the.
It's not your holiday. Everybody likes Halloween. That just clicked for me. People who
yeah.
have Halloween as their favorite holiday, they kind of build it into their personality as like, I'm not saying everybody who's Halloween is their favorite
You are
holiday.
saying that, but go on.
there is a type where it's like that's part of who I am. I'm so special. Nobody likes Halloween as much as I do. And it's
Right.
like, hey, it's a really popular holiday.
Kind of like
Yeah.
the Disney people a little bit,
Yeah.
like Disney adults. It gives that kind of vibe.
This is
to
they're
me.
stealing Halloween from the kids. That's not what Halloween is. It's not going to a reception hall.
Well, I feel like I saw someone in the comments saying something like, well, can't the kids just go trick or treating on another day?
Nope.
And it reminded me of when I was a kid. I must have been like 11 or something. My mom made us go around trick or treating the day before Halloween to trick or treat for UNICEF. You know, that kid, the kids. And so we had this little like cardboard box that they mailed to us, and she made my friends and I all dress up and literally going around the neighborhood, like knocking and ringing the doorbell and being trick or treat for UNICEF.
Well,
and so many people were like, what the fuck? Like that it's tomorrow.
I don't
we're
have
like,
any
yeah,
money.
but it's just for money. Like
So you're trying to get their money.
yeah, to donate to UNICEF.
which is-
Mom made you? Did you get any money?
We did, but there was a lot of people that were like, no.
That's also wild because isn't it? I know
really
it's more of an
embarrassing.
East Coast thing, but the night before Halloween is mischief,
Mischief
night when all the
night,
teenagers
yeah.
go out and commit crime. So that's
Yeah.
a wild night to try to raise money for UNICEF.
I know they probably thought
It's
we were
not bank fraud.
pranking.
It's for UNICEF. We swear. All right, I guess let's read the edit. I'm definitely deciding on letting the kids dress up for the reception, and this is seen to make some of the family feel better. I also have no intention of making the holiday about our anniversary in the future. I want my future kids to enjoy the holiday as it is intended. So you admit then that this is not what was intended. Therefore, to me, this is obvious. AITA for insisting on a wedding on Halloween. Yes, YTA.
Yeah.
If it was child-free, I could give them a pass, but it wasn't.
It's not. Yeah, you're just trying to rope those
I can
kids
agree,
in.
yeah.
Guys, please rate, review, subscribe on Spotify. Thanks so much for listening. Check us out on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Shannon is killing the clip game. And make sure to submit to our subreddit,
Reddit.
reddit.com/r/AITA pod.
And Patreon.
Patreon.com/AITA pod. Over 180 bonus episodes. Let's wrap this thing up. Here is Jacques David.
AITA for making my daughter return a Halloween costume. This happened in October, and my daughter is still acting cold and hardly speaking to me. My daughter, F16, works an after-school job 5 days a week. Her high school had a costume contest for Halloween. My daughter and her friends planned a group costume to enter. She went with her friends after school to buy costumes. I picked her and her friends up from the store, and they showed me them. My daughter spent $80 on her costume. I was pissed. That's a lot of money to spend on something you're going to wear for a few hours. I told her as much in the car and that I thought it was ridiculous. I dropped her friends off and took her back to the store to return the costume and accessories. Her friends replaced her in the group and won the contest and a $100 Visa gift card to split. My daughter came home from school on Halloween upset. She claimed she had to sit and watch while her friends had fun and she missed out on everything. I pointed out to her after splitting the gift card, it would be way less than she spent on the costume, and it was only a few hours, but she didn't want to listen to reason. It is now a month later, and she is still moody and mostly ignoring me. My ex-husband told me I made her miss out, and she works so much she missed out on a lot of stuff with her friends, and I could have let her have this. But at the end of the day, I saved her $80. I was just trying to teach my daughter how to be responsible with money. She could have gotten a cheap costume, especially since she would have only worn it for a few hours. AITA?
Now, she did not make her costume from scratch like me.
Oh, boy.
Can we get her an Oscar or just any kind of award?
Yeah, we're going to get you Oscar. For
An Oscar?
Yeah, best
Gold
actor.
star.
Best actor for all your fucking lies.
Thank you.
So sick of it.
5 days a week at 16? That's a crazy after-school job.
Oh, yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
you're right. That's so much.
That is a lot.
I'm a little confused about the actual mechanics here.
Of what?
So she works a job. She buys the costume. What happened with the gift card? That's where I got lost.
That was the prize for winning the
That's what they
costume
won.
contest.
That
A
they
$100
split.
Visa gift card.
Okay.
What's confusing?
I don't know.
Okay. So I just feel like in this scenario, it's kind of like the $80 wasn't really the price of the costume. It was the price of the experience, really.
Right.
And so, yeah, she saved her daughter $80, but she robbed her of this awesome experience that she would have had with her friends.
Yeah.
And then she had to sit out, feel completely left out. They won. So that sucks even more. I mean, yeah, it was just $100 to split 4 or 5 ways. It's not a ton of money, but the winning is the prize. And I feel like she's not teaching her a good lesson here.
The feeling of getting replaced too, regardless of context, just
Right.
seeing yourself getting pulled out of something like that and someone else immediately coming in and taking your place, that hurts so much, even as an adult, but at 16 in particular, that's really rough.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of grifts like this. I mean, Halloween is basically like this is like it's the same thing as water costing $9.
Oh, it's a
at
scam
concert.
perpetuated by dentists.
Oh,
Make no
yeah.
mistake.
Yeah.
Well, and
Yeah.
this is why you must make it by scratch.
Yeah,
By scratch.
By scratch.
I remember my
By
first
Buy
scratch,
it at different
guys.
stores,
As
Shannon
well.
means.
Scrappy.
But like, yeah, I think you nailed it. There's an overall experience here, and this is like, it's not only being cheap beyond like reason. Like, obviously, I think this is worth $80, and it's also that's just like that's not your money, lady. Like, she earned that money working this. Apparently, like this is brutal. This is brutal.
We're now at the core of the thing, of the whole issue. The whole issue here, it's control. This 16-year-old makes a lot of money. She works a lot. This mom probably, and look, this is something that I certainly experienced as a child of divorce. There can be times where parents don't have their issues fully worked out within the relationship dissolving, and the kid pays the piper for that, and you wind up facing a lot of overreach on control because the parent is trying to maintain some kind of control within their life on you. So
Right.
this was a flex from the parent showing, wasn't about the daughter, it was about the mom showing herself, I still call the shots around here. You can't go and spend your money on things that I think are stupid. And it really, this is just such a red flag to me of
Yeah.
more serious issues happening at home here.
I mean, I can also see, like, I know my mom was always super against buying these really expensive Halloween costumes. Like, we never bought them. We did make them from scratch. Like, sometimes she literally would sew them for us, or like we'd find them with like items around the house or whatever. And they always looked really cool and unique. And a lot of times these Halloween costumes, like we were just saying, are like, made like 2 cents it takes to make them.
Right.
They're so cheap. And so I can see my mom having been a little bit, annoyed with me for spending $80 on it, or been like, that wasn't a good idea. You could have made it, blah, 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 blah. But if it was my money, she wouldn't have made me
You
return
can't say
it.
boo.
Yeah.
You're
it's
kind
my
of just,
money.
You can tell them, oh, I don't think that
It's
was a
like-
good use of money. Tough
Right.
shit, lady.
Exactly.
My money.
Exactly.
I did want to ask y'all, what do you think the group costume was? Because if it was all matching costumes, then presumably that'd be $80 a person. So that is a $400 group Halloween costume.
Yeah.
I think we know what it was.
What was it?
It was obviously 5 Scooby-Doos. It was the costume of the year.
It's good.
They're saying Barbie's the costume of the year. Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doos.
Oh, that
Oops,
is
all
one.
Scoobies.
I can tell you this: any dude out there wearing Ken, particularly his misogyny outfit with the headband and the robe, that's a bad person.
Ooh.
You see that
That
guy
bad?
out there this year? That's a bad person.
Oh, what about Jake as a horse and we all ride him?
Oh, we could do
That
that.
is appropriating my culture. You can't
What?
ask somebody my size to be
Being
a
a
horse.
horse?
Yeah, that's like you can't ask.
What's
that
the
of
wait?
us.
What's the appropriating?
It's because I'm a horse.
Becoming a
Danny.
horse.
He is a
You don't.
horse.
You didn't know this? A witch's curse
you're a
turned me into a
horse.
human. that's my whole origin story.
Actually, you
forgot
kind
about
of
that.
look like Ken a little bit with your shirt
Yeah,
today.
I
Like
know.
you
I
could
thought you
wear
were saying
that.
look like a horse.
And actually, I had bought this jumper like 10 years ago because I was Barbie in college.
What's your little stone there?
Oh, it's an old vintage Missoni belt that my aunt gave me.
Did you make that from scratch?
Because it looks like it. Did I just say that? Oh my
just
god!
say
It looks
that?
like it's made from scratch. Konnichiwa.
very cute, folks.
YTA, congrats! You just strained a relationship with your daughters for $80 that weren't even yours. Well put. I mean, I think this is toxic. This is not okay. I mean, I liked some empathy that you brought to this, Jake, that this could be like divorce or whatever. But it's not okay. It's not okay to transfer your stress and need for control because your life is out of control onto your daughter. This is a
Yeah.
blatant crossing of
Overreach.
lines,
Yeah.
overreach.
Yeah, and
Really
you're
bad.
robbing her of these awesome experiences that she should have as a kid.
Yeah. AITA for making my daughter return a Halloween costume. I think this is that 3 in a row?
3 in a row.
Halloween,
YTA.
that's what
Halloween brings out the assholes, folks.
It is fair to say, though, having to split $100 Visa gift card after winning a
Oh, yeah, how would you
anything,
even go about
go
that?
to the movies?
That's-
I guess maybe, yeah, or you could all like go to dinner or something
That's-
like that. But
pay
you'd
for
still
part
have
of
to
it.
pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dinner in 2023 for $100. It's like three appetizers. All right, guys.
3.
That is the show. Thanks so much for tuning in. Listen on Spotify. Review us on Spotify. Ah, we're still on Spotify. This is so exciting. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Scared the crap out of Sam with that one. He didn't know that was coming.
Yeah.